We can now say that we have completed the main Trailblaze mission for Amphoreus in Honkai Star Rail, and it was one of the most incredible times I've ever had in my history of playing video games. It was incredible, beautiful, sad, happy, and all those different things in between you can use to describe, all those words you can use to describe Amphoreus. I feel like they would apply if they just made you feel some intense emotion, because it's all there. It was incredible. But today we're going to do something that I haven't done yet with Honkai Star Rail, which is like, take a pit stop. And we're going to go and talk about all my favorite characters. Today I'm going to do a tier list of all my favorite Honkai Star Rail characters, and we're going to be judging it by design, character, story, my like of them, my love towards them, voice acting, everything in between is going to be like, we can judge it by anything. It's just who I like the most and who I think is incredible. So we'll be like, oh, this design is great, so let's put it in love. This design isn't that great, let's put it in eh. I love this character, let's put it, all those things in between. And the actual names of the tiers are perfect, which is a character that is perfect to me. Incredible, oh my god, how amazing this character is in all facets. Love, I really love this character. Just simple as, this is so simple, I don't even have to describe it. Like is like, yeah, it's good, it's really good. And eh is like, it doesn't move me. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory, but it's all there as well. And we're gonna start off here with Stell. And I'm gonna just do something bold starting off here. This is going to set the tone. It's perfect. Before I played Honkai Star Rail, I want to make this clear. The design of Stell was already perfect to me. I think you can go back and look at like old posts I did in like the Patreon chats or whatever. I was always like, yes, Stell is like absolutely incredible. And to me, that is one of the best character designs. But also as well, I think Stell has grown so much as a character. Her relationship with the world has grown and made us like love the world even more, because the way she interacts with the world and the way people love her and interact with her as well has also made Honkai Star Rail not improve, but like be even more beautiful than it could be. I think that, there's a good chance that they could have made her character be very emotionless and kind of like not very with the world and feel like just a stand-in for the player, but they've actually made her own character. And as I said, the way that she interacts with people and the way that she has become this fully realized, lovable character. And even in the most recent stories, she's been really determined and heroic, which she's always been heroic, but like, it's been so cool to see her truly step up to the plate as well. She's a really great character, and again, the design also is perfect too. Kalis, here's the thing, guys. Kalis is not my character, right? But out of respect, I'm not going to put him in because I feel like that's so unfair, because it's like, this is the main character of Honkai Star Rail as well. And I do think his design is great. So I think what we'll do is we'll put him in love, right? Is that fair? Because I haven't played as him. I don't have the same connection to a Kalis that I do as Stell. If I put him in perfect, that's just saying that Stell and Kalis are interchangeable, which for me, whoever you choose is who is amazing to you. So I still love his design, so I'll put in love. That makes sense, right? So we're going to put, let's see. I would say love originally, but it's become like, I think, over time. I love the color coding, the hair is cool, but then also as well, it's like, I don't think I've been as connected to him as I was other characters at this stage. And I feel like that just happens, right? Where it's like, we start off being like, oh, these are the people we meet first. And then over time, like, they're not the characters that you meet forever. You meet new characters and grow new bonds. And I don't think we've like grown as much bonds with him as we have with other characters. And his design is really cool as well. But it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I just like him as a character, not love him as a character. I'm sure over time, maybe there's side quests we could have done that could have made it happen even more, I suppose, as well. Asta is interesting because, like, I don't like her gameplay. I do like her design. I love she has like a very business casual design. I don't know her well enough, but I do love her design, so we're going to do like love. I think we know her as like some aspects of her personality, but again, we don't have the same connection I have with other characters. But I do think that she, her purpose in the story is so perfect for her as well. Bailu, another, I would say, here's the thing, it would be like if it wasn't for the story with Don Fong and Don Hong. I think that as well, it was a really emotional time for her as well. And also if you do her like story quest too, she's also just a really like pleasant character to be around. And also I think she's adorable. And also I have a soft spot because she was the first character that I technically ever chose to be on my team, not just a random pick, so I'd put her there as well. Bronya, love. I would say that her character for me is like a really strong character. Again, it's someone who like we saw her really step up in Balabog and become something that like she was always like, meant to be in some ways as well. And how she took up the mantle of someone who was much worse than her and steered the ship of a Balabog in such a fantastic way. I also think her design is really fantastic too. which is leading me to kind of want to change this, because I really feel like when I'm thinking about it now, I think about it in general, I'm like, I love Bronya, but do I think she's like absolutely incredible? And now that I think about the stuff she's done in Belobog, yeah, let's move her up. Let's move her up 100%. Because her story of her stepping up to the plate and her really doing stuff for Belobog, while it's easy to forget it because it was so long ago for us, it can't be overstated how like it was still such an incredible start to our journey. Clara, I would say love. I think, I don't want the Belobog characters to ever suffer from like, not, and even like the earlier characters not suffer for, because they weren't in like big parts of the quest. But again, I remember Clara was one of those moments with Savarog that made me realize that this has an incredible story in Honkai Star Rail as well, and we're gonna fall in love with the story. I also think the design is just really super interesting as well. Like the color coding with the gray and the red is also interesting too. Yeah, but I also like really have an admiration for a character, and the time with Savarog was really sweet too. Yeah. Easily perfect. The reason why Dan Heng is perfect, of course, I think you guys know this at this stage. I love his design. I think he's beautiful. I think he's actually probably the prettiest Hoyo character in terms of just the prettiest male Hoyo character ever. He's got such a great supportive nature with his friends. He would die for them. And also he's been through so much and come out the other side as such a powerful character that we can rely on. His story was incredible with the Xian Show, and then once again the stuff he did in Amphoreus is astronomical. The way he adapted so much to that world and led that story on the led the Trailblaze journey this time around was also really amazing too. Yeah, he's just always a character I've loved and cared about. Love his personality, and again, he's been through so much as well, and his story is incredible. So good. Japard. I would say love. I think love is fair, right? I love his design. I think he as a character is really interesting. The idea of a very dedicated soldier who gives up his command to protect Belobog, but has been fighting for Belobog for so long. I love this stuff with him and Luca, but I think it's like not incredible because it's like, okay, yeah, I love him, but it's like I don't think he's in that higher tier of like, oh, that story was incredible or that was insane. Herta. Now, if we're counting this as like regular Herta, I think right? Because regular Herta has a great personality. She's really strong and all this stuff too. Is there another Herta here, by the way? Let me see. There's not another. No, there is one. Okay, yeah. And the reason I'm putting her like is because at this point with Herta, I was like, she's cool and she's really interesting and she's really interesting to be around. But it was never a thing where it's like, oh, I love her design or I think she's absolutely, and I probably had to, again, feelings change over time, and I probably did at the start think her design was, which again, it's a good design. It's a really great design. I like it a lot. But like when I think the newer Herta kind of like retroactively maybe like go like, man, Herta and incredible. And honestly, like it was Amphoreus. Obviously it's one of those things where like Herta is the same Herta as the one down below in the lower tiers, but I think this design is also just impeccable. It's so amazing. I love the witch style design. Also in Amphoreus, Herta really became, or not became, because I think they always were this person, but they really showed like how much they step up to the plate, how much of a leader they are. Lygus was even impressed by what Herta was able to do. Really, like Herta was all over the last few chapters of Amphoreus, and their stamp is really known on that story as well. It was so incredible to watch her relationship with Skrullum, to watch her, as I said, lead everyone into this whole thing as well, while also giving the props to the other characters too, like Stell and other characters as well, and praising Stell throughout this time too. But what she did with the whole noose thing is just insane. And of course, she's just funny to be around as well, all the time too. Yeah, Himiko is incredible. Sorry guys, it cut out there for a second, but I kept my audio in when I was talking about putting the other Herta in a higher tier as well. And she was also amazing as well, and we talked about that too. But yeah, I really do love Himiko. Himiko's relationship with the members of the Astro Express, the mother of the Astro Express, she's been so supportive. Without her, there wouldn't really be a world for our characters, and the fact that she's helped so many times as our characters move forward, like Stell last time as well in Amphoreus, it really does move me so much to have her there as well. And she's a perfect design. Like the red blush under her face and stuff as well is really cool. Hook is like, yeah, it's like, I'm like, okay, really cool design, really fun character, really cute. Yeah, I like her character. March, perfect. You're talking about like color coding in terms of the design. She looks incredible. She's just so noticeable from a mile away. She's always been the sweetheart that has made me happy and been so fantastic to be around. And again, she completes the trio, and having the trio be the first perfect characters means the world to me. And again, it's one of those things where with March, She already had an amazing story and an amazing presence. She would have been perfect already, but then Amphoreus made her even more incredible with the stuff with the Evernight and reuniting with the Astro Express, and the fact that she was with us the whole time as well. It's just a really perfect character. I would say... yeah. I'm like... I think at first I was really thinking she was like... I think I was really... admired her character quite a bit, but it's like, I don't really feel too strongly about her character anymore. And maybe it's just because she hasn't been seen as much. When she does show up, she does some really cool stuff, right? So maybe it should be in between here. So let's say it's here and here, but I think sometimes when she is used in the story, she's good, but I feel like it's always for like 2 seconds. You know, does that make sense? And it's not her fault. I think it's more the fault maybe of the story. So I'll put her in like maybe because I like her, but maybe it's in between, right? So we'll put her like here. Yeah, we'll put her here, but you know what's in between. Because it's like, for me, it's like, she doesn't move me anymore. And it's not her fault, it's just that she hasn't... I feel like whenever she shows up, she's in it for 2 seconds, right? And that's it. But I can't deny, obviously, the stuff she did in the past. That's the thing as well, though. Yeah, I think so. I have to get out of that headspace. Like, you have to remember, like, Balebog was a long time ago, but I don't want to disregard anything that any character's done, right? And I feel like with Natasha, you look back on the stuff with Balebog and how important and central she was to that, too. It's like, yeah, I feel like it's a sacrilegious to just put her down here. I know it's like, you're like, Calvin, how do you feel now? But like, then when I think about the Balebog stuff, I change my mind. And I have to get myself out of that mindset, right? I have to. And it's been so long ago, but we have to like stop that kind of bias in our heads, I suppose. Yep, I think she looks like an NPC. I think they designed this poor Pela to look like an NPC character. I don't have a connection with her. I don't know her well. I don't feel anything towards her. I'm sorry. I just don't. I don't feel anything. Yeah, I like her a lot. I think she's really funny. I think her design is really adorable, and she's just a really funny character to be around. And she's always really charming in that comedy as well. Genuine, incredible. His story and the pain that he's gone through. Again, it's one of those things where, like, I would say I think I love his design, but I'm not always as moved by it as I am, like the other designs here. But it's not just about design. His story is amazing. The quintet story is amazing. And he himself is a, like, really tortured and beautiful character that is always interesting to follow. Sampo. He would have been here originally, but I really feel like the stuff with like Sparkle and things like this as well, and like his addition later on in the story has been really funny and charming as well. And also, weirdly, gameplay wise, he's been a big anchor on my teams, so I want to put him there also. Sela is an incredible character, and I think what's overpowering here is that I think I don't think her character is as strong as sometimes as Bronya, but I still love her story, but without Bronya there's no Sela, without Sela there's no Bronya, and that's why I think they have to be in the same position here. Not just because of like, a ship, but because as characters, I really feel like the Bronya-Sela connection is strong in bringing them both up to like the understandings between the underworld and the overworld. They are that representation. But then also they both support each other and care for each other. But in terms of like by yourself, her design is just like a 10 out of 10. It's such a cool design. And she's one of the first characters you meet in the underworld too. And I always remember those moments, and they always spark something in my heart as well. It's really good. Serval. I would say it's the same as Gepard. Yep, I love the design, the guitar playing, and also her story was really cool too. I remember really enjoying her story also, but she is a very, to me, like a very lovely character to be around, a character that feels so supportive and warm as well. Sushang. Here's the thing. I think saying her story is as incredible as these characters is not why I'm putting her here. But I need people to understand, Sushang's design is one of the best designs in this entire game. The brown hair contrast in the yellow. The outfit that looks like she's the head character, the lead character in the JRPG on the PSP. Like, everything about it is just so... When I think about her, I smile. I love her moveset. I love her as well as a character. She's so funny and charming and all those things in between. Just one of those things when I think about her, I just feel so happy. I feel so, so happy. So I'm going to put her there because I think as well, design definitely brings her up here to perfect because I just love her design. Interestingly enough, because while her story is amazing, right, it's also like to do with connection, right, where I feel like her story is incredible to follow, but I feel like if you compare it to like other characters, maybe I don't have the same strong connection with that character. Welt, originally was going to be here because again, I'm not like huge on his design, but it's grown on me. I wasn't huge on his character, but he's grown on me. And I think it's just because I didn't understand him at first. At first, I thought he was going to be that character who's like, I'm the smart one, and I'm like, I know it all, that type of character. But he actually turns out to be like one of the most supportive, fatherly characters in the entire game. That he's just, again, indispensable from the story. He's really great. And again, I've grown to love his hair and his design too. Yangxing, incredible. The story of a character like, trying his best to not feel useless, to get stronger, losing in battle, and then still coming back and understanding the value of a loss in battle. Over time, you see him growing and growing. So powerful, but he still has so much room to grow. And he is that, I feel like, his personality is just really exciting to follow as you see his story through the entire, arc of Honkai Star Rail. Locha, I love Locha's design. I love the blonde. I love the white coat. I think he's one of the most mysterious characters. He always makes me feel like in such an interesting way. Maybe we might put him incredible because I'm standing by this. The reason I'm putting him in perfect is a reason. There's a reason. He was the he is the reason I've beaten most battles in Honkai Star Rail. Without him, I feel like I would have struggled many, many times. And I want to just acknowledge that for me, my connection with him is so perfect. It's not just because of story or anything like that as well. It's because he literally brought my team to everything. It was him. It was him. Gameplay-wise. So this is the perfect gameplay-wise as well. Without him, things would be so different. Silverwolf. I don't have a massive connection to her character, but I'm obliged to put a Stellar Hunter in Incredible. It's in my contract. I cannot put them below Incredible. There we go. Yukong. Weirdly enough, right, her story, okay, it's in between and this. And the reason is, her design is cool, but over time, I feel like it's become more... Do you guys know what I'm saying? It's become a little bit more basic in my eyes, where it's like compared to the other designs we've seen. And that's might be a little bit unfair. But also, her story was great. And I remember being so emotional at the story too. But I feel like when I think back on all the story quests as well, it's usually not the one I think of first as well. So it's not like I'm like, I don't like her design, or I don't like her as a person. It's more of a situation where she's great whenever she shows up, and she's an important part of like the stories when she does show up. But for me personally, I feel like that's what she kind of is now. She's like this utility player who shows up and like to give some information or help in some way, and then she's gone again. So I just don't feel that connection to her anymore that I used to. Blade. This to me is between perfect and incredible, but I'm going to put him behind side Superwolf, Silverwolf. The reason I say incredible and between perfect as well, this design is gorgeous. This is such a perfect design. The hair is beautiful, everything's stunning about him. But the big thing about that Blade to me that is so powerful to me is the story of a character who wants to die but can't die. The story of a character who's so bitter about the world, but still has so much love for the people around him. And the reason why I'm not putting him into perfect, right, is because while I think like it's one of those things where like Sushang could get brought down to incredible, because when I'm starting to recalibrate what perfect is, for me it's like I think I will grow a connection more with Blade, but the connection isn't as strong as it would be with her characters. And again, I know people are going, is your connection as strong with these characters as Sushang and Locha? This is probably two special reasons, because these are two just, in terms of design, it's perfect. In terms of like him backing up, it's perfect. These are emotions, right? These are emotional characters and design as well, and also the love I have for him and their story, everything in between, right? So yeah, these two are kind of like legacy pulls. But yeah, he's in between here because I think his story is absolutely incredible and his design is incredible. Perfect. This is a character who you want to know more about all the time, but when you do meet her, she is either one of the most dangerous or supportive or beautiful characters you can meet. Her love for Stell means so much to me, and her care that she hides behind all this like viciousness and kind of suaveness is something that I admire so much. She's a beautiful character who really... I couldn't put anything below perfect, because every time I think about her, I get so happy, and she's so interesting, and her design is so fantastic too. It's one of the best color codings and color choices ever as well. She's amazing. She really is. Incredible. Luca is after, like, to me it's like obviously design and like the connection he has with those kids that he always helps to, but then like the Xianqiu story really brought this over from love to incredible. He's a really beautiful character with a really beautiful design, but it really is that moment of him, like, again, fighting back from all this nervousness and this fear that he had of himself, It really was a fantastic story, and I'm really happy to have him there as well. I'm gonna put him in perfect because it's one of those things where like this is the Dan Heng that moves me, but it's Dan Heng. You know what I mean? It's Dan Heng. Fu Xuan, like, yeah. Great story. I love the stuff with her and her taking over Jin Yuan. She's been a pillar in a lot of the stories in Zanshou. Yeah, definitely a character I like. Linksy, like, yeah, a sweetheart of a character. Loved the story that we got to play with them as well. I loved that they're related to. I feel really bad having them not here as well, but I feel like it makes sense that we probably would be more connected to Serval and Japar than we would be with Linksy, but it's still Linksy being here makes perfect sense to me because she is a character that is a sweetheart, right? And I think her design is absolutely adorable as well and lovely too, but I think we just don't have, like if I compare my connection to a, like a Japard or Serval, it's not as strong as that, right? For sure. It's not that strong as well. Which honestly, like I feel like it's a bit unfair in a way, but I think I'm just going with my gut on that one. Gui, absolutely love. Her story is great. Her design is so colorful and really pretty too. But again, it's one of those things where like maybe it's just time in the story that I just don't feel like it's like that we're there with her all the time, you know? It's just one of those things. But I do think she has a great design. I love her the comedy of her story too, and also her relationship with like the other gals as well is always fun to see too. Jingliu is perfect. I think it's in between again, but I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put her in incredible. Even though I think it's in between just like Blade. Such a harrowing story, so emotional, so powerful, and the design is absolutely amazing too. Now that I'm saying it, let's just... No, but then I feel the same way, it's like with Blade. No, okay, this is so hard. This is actually very hard. Actually, putting her beside Yang Xing is perfect to me, because, again, I love Yang Xing probably the same way I love Jing Liu, and also, like, unofficial trainer, and then putting her between Jin Yuan as well. Okay, no, that's perfect. Yeah, a superb design. Love using her as a character as well, and her design is her character is so bitter and heartbreaking, but I think in the future, again, just like with Blade, we're going to be more connected with her by the end of this story as well. But again, as I say, like, it's not a bad thing to put them in incredible. Like, perfect is like a really high tier as well. Topaz, I would say really like. I think the design is really great. I think her story quest shows like so many different dimensions to her character as well. I think, you know, the reason why I don't put it in, well, now this is difficult, man. All of a sudden I'm like, did I have this tinge in my heart where I'm like, but man, her helping in those recent quests, yeah, let's F it, who cares? You know? I feel it. I feel the love. 100%. Argenti, incredible. Argenti is a suave and beautiful character that at first you think is absolutely crazy, but then you realize is one of the most like emotionally intelligent and gorgeous characters ever. His design is fantastic. He is gorgeous. The love, and that's the thing. As I said, we're judging this on everything from love to connection to design to gameplay. The love I have for Argenti is undying. It's like when I see him, I get a dopamine rush. I adore him. He's so great. Hanyu, I love her as a character. But as a design, I need people to understand this is like so superb. It's so good. The darkness of the design, but then also like, you know, it contrasts like how absolutely like sweet she is as well and how gentle she is. But like just looking at her design, it is amazing. It's so amazing. Hua Hua, love. Her story quest is insanely good. The event that we played with her as well was, I think it was an event or a story. I think it was an event. Was there as a story? Or maybe it was both. But that whole story of her and her tale, showing that they actually did like have an admiration for each other, and also like trying to like, you know, come to terms with like the fact that like she does have this like power on her as well. I remember just like really loving her quests also. Dr. Arms, incredible. I genuinely think that this is one of the prettiest characters in the history of video games. It's just something about him that is just so astoundingly gorgeous. But also his place in adventuring story impacted me so hard. I love that he's the voice of reason without ever feeling like he's talking down to people. He has a real mission and a real passion for the stuff that he does. Yeah, so I'd put him here 100%. Runmei, I would say like, right? Where it's one of those things where like I think it's in between love and like, where like I love her story. That story quest is so incredible. It's one of those times that makes you realize Honkai Star Rail is super complicated. Not every character is going to be this perfect being. She's terrifying, right? She really is. But at the same time too, it's also like her part in other people's stories, and like the mending of Fuge as well is a really incredible thing, which honestly, like here as well, like we can put it right there. I would say like as well, 100%, but like is really great too. I'm just never huge on her character completely, like in terms of like my connection to her. I'm never huge on that as well, honestly. Shui, I think is like a thing where it's like, I'm iffy on her character now, but like again, she was in one of the most powerful moments on the Xianchu story when she nearly got broken apart, and that impact obviously still is on my mind all the time when I think about that. Her design is really great as well. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like when I think about it, just like, yeah, I like her, you know, never really feel like anything much stronger than that. Black Swan, absolutely incredible. And I think she more solidifies herself more and more as the time goes on. Her place in Amphoreus is so mysterious, but always so interesting every time you thought about her. Her design is actually really perfect as well. She's a gorgeous character, and the purple colors never feel overbearing with how much purple's on her as well. It's just gorgeous character design. And every time she like opens her mouth, it's like one of those situations where like I want to listen. I'm always craving to listen to her as well. She's incredible. She really is. My son, incredible. Don't say anything about it's my son. What nepotism? What are you talking about? Oh, you want to see nepotism? There you go. There's nepotism for you. Someone's gonna skip to the end of the video and be like, Misha? Misha? So let's put him here for now. Actually, let them be like, Misha? No, we'll put him here. Yeah, you can call it nepotism. Go on. Sparkle, I need you to understand something, guys, when I do this. She scares the heck out of me. But there is something about Sparkle's, like, color coding and her design that is so, like, visually strong. It's so visually strong. The colors are great. The way that her makeup is done is great. But also, her part in the Penacony story is just being someone behind the scenes being like, it's like, it seems so like, if you think of the grand scheme of things, it can seem sometimes like, not that it is, but like something people can see as inconsequential. But like, I love her part in the Penacony story where like she's constantly just like around the place, like it's like there's something crazy will happen and she'll be there like, hoo-hoo. You're like, okay, Sparkle. But yeah, she's a really interesting character. It's not, I don't think she's morally great, and it's not a character that I love as a person. But like, it's one of those things where like when I think about her character, she's like so interesting to the point of just like every time she's on the screen, I'm glued. I'm absolutely glued. May Acheron. Yeah, I would say incredible. Again, her place in Penacony, the story of her journey in Penacony, design is also really clean and really fantastic. Also, the drip feeding of her story is always great, and like the fact that she was such a like big part of Stell's story as well is also great too. I'm gonna put in perfect, and Aventurine goes into perfect, and the reason why is this: Aventurine made me die with tears. And here's the thing, I think Luca's the first character I ever cried over as well. But I think with the stuff with Aventurine was just such a build-up and such an impactful thing as well that, like, I think about that moment of Act 2 in Penacony all the time where it really, like, was such a devastatingly, like, powerful pain that I was feeling at that moment that I actually didn't feel like it was going to stop. His story from his journey from his upbringing to when he was younger to where he is now is so sad and so... there's an uplifting nature to it as well, but it feels so cruel, and the fact that he came out the other side and just one of the best characters in all of Penacony, in Honkai Star Rail, it just means the world to me. Gallagher, yep, I don't feel much towards him. He's cool at times. There was times he was cool, but now I look back and I'm like, I don't really feel too great towards him. Not in a bad way, like I hate you, but just like he doesn't move me. He does not move me. Boot Hill. Yeah, especially after the story with March and the stuff with like the Paperful University, he's really fantastic there as well. But I just think it's one of the most like inspired designs. I'm not usually a big fan of like big flowing like crazy sharp hair that comes out the back of a character, because sometimes I really just like a character having like a clean long haircut, like an Argenti. But I really do think Boot Hill like grows on you the more he's there, and he's also just really charming and funny, and also his design is just so inspired, and he himself is just like fun to be around constantly. He really is. Perfect. And the reason why Robin's perfect is because I would say that, like, in terms of, like, story, right? In terms of an actual story, I think that like I kind of like even like maybe you could say I prefer even Blade's story, I guess. But Robin's story is incredible, of course, with Sunday as well. That whole relationship is superb and so amazing. It's so fantastic and so emotional, and it really does such a good job of like creating a space for those two characters to grow on you in terms of a story, but then also as well by the end you feel so emotionally connected to both of them that it feels like you are like almost like spiritually connected to them as well. She's also imperfect because her gameplay is everything to me. That is so incredible. I feel so strongly about like just her moveset. And I feel like if I put her in anything less, it would just be a disservice to the point of like how she brightens my day with just her gameplay. Firefly is also perfect. The story of Firefly is insane, right? And emotional and so such a gut punch in such a sad way, but that moment with the fireworks solidifies everything that Firefly really is to me. And that moment when she's like flying up with her cell, it really felt like, okay, this character is just so strong in a, how do I say it? So strong in a way that is like unfair. Like I look at her and I just want to like I want her to be happy. I want her all the time to be happy. And that feeling that I get when I look at Firefly and I want to like make sure that I'm always like, I need her to be happy. I feel like not putting her anything but perfect would be insane because again, her design is great. The story with Sam and the Stellar Hunters is fantastic. All that in between. It is impossible for me not to feel emotions when I just see her face. And again, that song with Robin, she's such a soundtrack. But I should say that too. Robin's such a soundtrack to Amphoreus that when I think of Firefly, I thought of Robin's song as well. You know, it's crazy. Yeah, good design, interesting character, kind of scary. But I don't feel anything really towards her more than just like that thing. 'Cause it's like I'm like every time she shows up, I'm like, oh, what's she doing? She's kind of scary. She's kind of interesting, right? But beyond that, I'm just like, okay, you know, it's not anything too crazy for me. Do we want to relive it? But what I will say is this: when it comes to like a lot of the stories on the Xianzhou, especially that story that happened like later on with like the wolves and all that stuff. What were they called? Borson? Was it Borson? Is what they're called? With Jishao, I went in not expecting this character to be so great, and he ended up being one of my favorite characters in all the game. He's just by the end of that story quest, you will love his character. There's no two ways about it. It's over. You are done. You are absolutely donezo. And I think I think that's why I think he's so incredible as well, is the fact that like they were able to make a character that like at first I was just like, okay, you know, like this is an interesting character, a cool character design, really good color coding, but like I didn't know how I was going to feel about this character as he got into like more parts of the story. But you can go back in the story, like I proclaimed him to be like one of my favorite characters, like towards the not even I think it was like, yeah, I think it was like very much like towards the end of the story. I definitely proclaimed as one of my favorite characters for sure. Yun Li, I like. Yeah, it's just like I think she's a great story, but I think unfortunately, I think for me, it's like when I think of her character, she's stronger because of Yang Xing's story as well. And I know it's probably unfair, especially when she had such a great story with the. Oh no, actually, that's a really good story too. I almost forgot about that. And people might say, "Well, Calvin, you forgot about that." Yeah, we did so many stories. We've done like 120 episodes. I'm gonna put her in like, and this is why, right? Her story is great. The story that she has in her story quest is really impactful and emotional, right? But I would say still though, after that, I think their story is what I'm really impacted by. But I'm not always like moved by thinking about her character. It's something that's just like, yeah, I like her as a character, but I don't like think of her as like, oh my god, she's like love or incredible, right? I think it's fair. I think it's totally fair. Fei Xiao. I would say in between love and like, and it's because she is so astoundingly awesome, right? In love, right? That's why she's here. She's so astoundingly awesome. She's such a big force in Yang Xing's life. And whenever she does show up, she has such a like the coolest lines. She's had some of the coolest cutscenes as well. She's such an interesting character, and again, such a central character to Xianzhou as well. So that's why she's in love as well. Ling Sha, like, because again, I don't feel like I got to know her as well, but I love her accent and her design. She's a beautiful, beautiful design. Her accent is really gorgeous too. Maze, like, love his moveset. Again, didn't get to know him as well as other characters, I feel like, too. Rappa, I would say incredible. I think that, like, this is Honkai Star Rail what it can be, right? It's a character that is so out there and so wild and just so adventurous, but also has a deeper, sadder story behind them as well. So it's this combination of, like, what Honkai Star Rail is to me, which is like, oh my god, like, say adventuring, oh my god, this character is, like, insane, right? Oh my god, what are they doing? Oh my god, wait, what are they doing? What are they doing? Oh, that's horrible what happened to them. Oh, that's why they're that way. Oh, that's why that happened. So it's like, that's Honkai Star Rail to me. It's a character that you're like, oh my god, who are these guys? And then you're like, oh my god, what happened? You know what I mean? And she does have such an impactful story. And again, as I said, design is perfect. Such a funny and energized character. Being around her is amazing too. She's incredible. Sunday, incredible, right? I think with Sunday, it's like, nothing can ever like come close to the idea of, like, in terms of a brother-sister relationship, his relationship with Robin. It's insane. I really do. Oh, Evernight is here. I guess because it's the end of 3. Or the start of 3.6. But yeah, I think his story is just astounding, and also, like, now he's still being so helpful and charming around us too. But again, I don't feel the same way as I do with him about Robin. But yeah. Now, I think a lot of times people go like, oh, Calvin, like, your list is going to be like, we know what your list is going to be. There's going to be barely any in the last tier. And I'm proud of that. I don't care. I don't care there's going to be barely in the last. Because I'm looking at this list here and it's like, let's just do this. Because I feel like this is so fresh in my mind as well that, like, I think, you know, Aglaya's story is, anything less than incredible would be a disservice. Like, she went through so much. Her character is so influential on our character as well. It would be a disservice. Maidamos. Design, gorgeous. Character story and the journey that he's been on to, like, truly find what it means to be a Kremnoan. His relationship with Finon, everything in between. When I see him, he just, like, makes me so happy all the time. Yeah. It's so true. Like, this story of the Tribio sisters is one of the most heartbreaking things in the entire game, and it really set the tone for the entirety of Amphoreus. This is where it started to be this thing where it's like, oh my god, Amphoreus is going to be heartbreaking as hell. Anaxagoras, between love and between perfect and incredible. His design is perfect. You know, and his story and of how him you know, going against the idea of the Titans and wanting to enlighten people is so fantastic as well. It's always incredible to see. Casterus. How can you see the cutscene of her as a kid and then see her embracing the Dromases and then see her putting her hand in Stell's face and grabbing our hand and seeing her finally able to embrace people? It is a perfect story that is emotionally tormenting but so uplifting and beautiful and everything in between. It is so incredible, and her design is gorgeous as well. Cyphera, the hidden hero of Amphoreus. She is someone who, behind the scenes, was doing so much for Amphoreus and people didn't even know, but also she's really charming and has such a cool design too. Hyacinthia. I feel like to explain why Hyacinthia is in the incredible tier, I could just legitimately just be like, look at her. This bundle of happiness that also represents optimism and the lack of optimism in a way too. The way that her story went from being a character who is optimistic for the people around her, but deep down felt the sky was so oppressive, and eventually used the sky as something to be a metaphor for being more open and the world being more open. It's really great. Anything less than perfect would be insane. It would be insane. The stuff that he went through, the absolutely horrible things that he had to do, but also just like the arc he went on of a character who was unsure of himself, thought he was going to be the one to take over the Strife Titan. Aglaya had other plans to him. He had this pressure put on him that he was going to be the world-bearing Titan, eventually passing it on to Stell, but still bearing the world himself and fighting so hard against the Black Tide and against fighting so hard against the Black Tide and fighting against Nikador and being the first character in Honkai Star Rail to hurt a Titan. End of. Perfect. And also as well, his design when I first started, I liked it a lot, but I don't think I was like as moved by as I was by Mightymosis, but over time he becomes like really even more gorgeous as well. Saridra, I would say I love her character. For me, it's one of those things where, again, I don't think I'm as connected to her as I am other characters, but it's hard not to love the story that she went on there. not morally, I'm not like, oh, I love what she did to those people. But for me, it's one of those things where like, while I don't agree with like the morals of the entire situation, I think that like to not be impressed by what they did with a character like this, that is a tyrant, that is someone who like affects the world sometimes in negative ways, but still by the end of it, like understanding your character and being so enamored by the story of her character and what she did for High Sealands, it's astounding. It really is. Evernight, I would say perfect because of the March connection. I'm just gonna put her there. And then lastly, perfect. And here's the thing, High Sealand's story is not perfect. It's not like this thing where it's like, oh, it's, well, like, here's the thing, I don't want to say like it's not perfect because like it's like there's not really a hair out of place, you know what I mean? But I think what puts her up there even more than her regular like emotional story is the singing that she did. The emotional singing, I felt the same way in a similar way than I did for Robin, that like it's such a soundtrack to those times as well. The moment when she like rises up through the waters with Stella is so beautiful too. But also, I've said this already, I've been on record saying this and I'll stand by this. To me, High Sealands is the best design in Hoyo. I think the water in the chest, the beautifully styled hair, the lace on the shoulders, the cool way that their dress like hangs down like over like her cool like tights as well and boots. Like she's so freaking cool and such a great design, such a gorgeous design. And also her moveset's great. Her story behind her, of course, we said, is already like super superb as well. For me, it's just one of those things where like, in a similar way that I put Su Shang up here, where like I have this connection to her design, where it's like I see it and I'm like, oh my god, that's incredible. With High Sealands, it's like the same thing. It's like, if she didn't have the design, she'd be incredible, which is still great. But for me, it's just that's where she is. She's incredible because she's perfect because of that design as well. Now we go through the list and see if there's anything we would change. Sorry for clapping. I should not do that. Let's see. No one's moving up from here. No one's moving up from here. Will anyone move down from like? I think Maze's close here because again, I don't have this connection with him, so I could put him down here. Yeah, I could. I definitely could. I don't have the same connection that I do with the other characters. I just don't, so he's here. I think it's only fair because like and you can say, well, you don't have the same connection with Linkshot. I agree too. I agree with that too. But again, her accent and her design is like to me better than Maze's. So, I think that's fair. Is anyone moving up from here to love? Do I think? Anyone moving down from love? Actually, they could. I think someone could if I. But then again, I feel like I don't want to like just like swap just for, we're not going to swap for the sake of it. You know what? Well, she's between. No, we said she was between here as well because again, I just don't feel the same strong connection with some characters as well. I'll put Asta here. I know it's maybe harsh, but it's like, yeah, we were connected to her first. Now every time we talk to her, it's like really great to have her around here. But I feel like it's one of those things where like, yeah, it's like I like her, but and I think the reason why I put her in love, first of all, when you're starting these tier lists, obviously that's why you go back and change things because it's one of those things where like she was one of the first characters I put in there. I really like her design, but again, I just like her. We'll do it that way. Anyone can go from incredible from here. I don't think so. Yeah. Anyone going down from incredible to love? I think Sparkle, maybe. Right? And while I know you probably will have you just put up there recently, but I think it's one of those situations where you look at the whole list and you see everyone in it, you're like, okay, yeah, I think her design is great, but it's like, would I feel the same way about Sparkle that I do about, like, all these characters? No. Right? Not at all. And I feel like as well, like, I could put Boot Hill down here, so not because I don't adore him, but because, like, I feel like, you're talking about the connection I have with all these characters is very different. But I'm not going to put him down there either as well. But then again, you could compare, like, Seela and Bronya, where I definitely don't have the same connection with Seela and Bronya that I do with Luca or Jing Liu. But, as I said, they were, like, the first representation of like, a superb story in Honkai Star Rail, and their relationship is so fantastic to me as well. I don't think anyone's going to move up to perfect, but I do like them all being here as well. I don't think anyone's going to move down from here either. Yep, they all have such an impact in that way, in such a perfect way. I think it's good. I think it's a good list. And again, I know like, and this is the person who said this last time. They even said this because at the time they were very true in what they said, is because other people do different tier lists sometimes, and usually it's like, you know, great, good, bad, really bad, stinky. But like I think that list would be disingenuous. I think if you guys saw a list where I wrote at the bottom like absolutely awful, it would be disingenuous, because I genuinely think that the Honkai Star Rail designs are some of the best designs in video games. And it would just like, if I did that just to like make a harsh critique just for the sake of it, I feel like it invalidates like everything I'd already like done, and I wouldn't want to do that. I want to be like true to myself and be like, I love these character designs. I think they're all freaking amazing. So why would I not just like rank them in a way like this where I can still like appreciate them while also like just talking about the different layers of appreciation and maybe like a little bit of a lack of appreciation at the bottom. Like, I think it's totally fair. I remember the person was like, man, why is this character only in this section? I'm like, that's the love section, because I think now love is going to seem, just by the way things go, it's going to seem bad. But when you think about it, loving a character is a big deal, and liking the character is very good too. I feel like the only characters that people are going to feel hard done by is these characters here, which is the section. It's just characters that just don't move me in any way, shape, or form that much, right? Seeing them is going to be like, oh, great. And again, I'd love to get to know them more. But as I said, Pela feels like an NPC to me. Yukong, over time, her design has become more basic to me, even though her story is great. Gallagher, I think in the midst of the story, he's a really interesting character, but he's like way less interesting now to me than other characters. That's going to sound so bad. Jade is a character who I just like don't like personally as a person. And then also like her design is just like, it's good. It's a good design. And then Maze is like a character I just don't know well enough whatsoever. So I think that's fair to put them down there as well. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad list at all. I don't think it's one of those situations where like, yeah, because again, as I said, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed to be that person that people think, you know, will go, oh, Calvin's not going to put something down in horrible. I'm not ashamed of that. It doesn't make me feel like, oh, like, you know, I don't have this like really negative thing, because I don't like making videos that way, because like for me personally, the last thing I ever want to do is like search for things that are bad in a game or bad in a series or bad in a list or whatever. If I can't think of something that I don't like, which we do sometimes, as we said before, we've critiqued things we don't like. We've had critiques of parts of like Honkai Star Rail as well. If I can't think of something I don't like, I'm not going to just search for it. I'm not going to be like, oh, what do I not like about this? Oh. So I went a lot on feeling in this too, and a lot of like design and stuff like this also. But I'm not ashamed of that. I'm really not ashamed of having like a more, I don't want to be like positive, because again, like, you know, everyone can be negative, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But I'm not ashamed to like say that I just think the Honkai Star Rail character designs are just superb. And what I say too is like, if my least favorite designs are the ones at the bottom here, that's my least favorite designs of the Honkai Star Rail. It's like, they're doing something right, you know? If like we can look at like a design like, you know, Gallagher, which again, at the time I feel like I thought was like probably really cool, but just over time I've just become less connected to it and less connected to it. It's like, yeah, if that's like one of my less favorite designs or less favorite characters, it's like, they're doing something really right here. You know what I mean? They definitely are. But it's just a fantastic cast of characters. Yeah, it really is. And I really enjoy everything that's in this game too. In terms of like, guys, what's coming now, we will be doing the Fate collab. That's going to be something we're going to be doing next. I think that's probably the next thing we're going to be doing. I might go back and do a few events, but we are heading towards Arcadia. That's like where we're barreling towards. And I don't know what we're going to be doing in between then, but I'm going to let you guys know, and you're going to find out, I guess, when the videos come out too. So I do appreciate you guys checking this out as well. And I also just want to say as well, for you guys who came with me on the journey of Amphoreus, thank you so much. For you guys who would like have an opinion on this, if you have a negative opinion or a positive opinion, please let me know. Always great to hear this as well. What I can say now with certainty is that I'm very appreciative that you guys would even watch a video like this. If you're watching this right now and listening to this, thank you. Like, legitimately, like the fact that people want to hear like where I would put different characters, amazing. So yeah, thank you so much for coming along this journey, and I hope you enjoyed it so much as well. We're not done yet, and we're never going to be done with Honkai Star Rail. If you want to see these videos early, you can do so on YouTube members or on Patreon, and that's for the lowest tier at €1 or whatever it is in your currency. If you want to see your name go by in the text credits, which is going by right now, that is the €10 tier. And if you want to hear your name be read out at the end of every single video as the big shout out at the end of a video, that is €15. And I thank you so much for that as well. You are incredible. I appreciate you so much, all the people that support me at all of my tiers on Patreon and YouTube members. I want to say thank you to my patrons first at the highest tier, that being Typharo 2, Jamie Bull, Jana the Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Delicious Felix, Yuled, Anusta, Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Chelson, Leon, Heike Sparian, Neo Showerite, Leah 200, Malcolm Gonde, Axler21, and at the highest tier of my YouTube members, Belasco and Lucinagi. See you guys soon. Bye bye.